She's a slave woman. And in that day, in that day and time, it was not uncommon for people of that stature. Abraham and Sarah had wealth, they had money. And here it was, this slave woman from Egypt is now to take care of, and now she's been, in a sense, I like to say, forced to have a baby by Abraham, or to have an encounter, a sexual encounter with her master. It wasn't uncommon. So let's fast forward it now to 1600 or the 16th century BC, when slave masters, we were taken as a people, race, we were taken from Africa, brought over to America, and you had white men who owned slaves. Yeah, who owned slaves. And what happened was, in periodically, when those other women could not have babies, or if their husband were not satisfied, they would take a slave and rape her, beat her. Y'all remember kids, Roots? Yes. I know some people shouldn't watch some things like that because then they get mad again, but I saw that as a little boy, 12 or 13 years old. But as I've gotten older, they're doing a series now. But you remember Kizzy's son, Chicken George? He was born because the master raped Kizzy. Yeah, and he raised Chicken George to fight chickens and to fight cocks and roosters, and Chicken George was going to kill him. And she said, you can't kill him. Why? That's your dad. So what was going on then with the movie Roots, it wasn't new to slavery. I believe they took some of the same principles out of the Bible and said, hey, look, this is what was going on then, and that thing kept going on, it kept growing, and kept growing. Now that doesn't make it right. And so when we look at the lesson, when we look at the text, we're so quick to jump on the fact that there was a problem with Ishmael and Hagar. Hagar was a slave. Hagar was, slave women were beaten and battered and taken advantage of. And so I don't want us to leave here without, looking at that, because we miss. And I understand God is in the picture. God allows some things to happen. But I don't want us to leave here without noting that here we jump over the slave part, that she was a slave, and think that it's okay. We talk about the other issues. Yes, he had this woman that Sarah told him to go into. No, she was a slave. And we don't want to miss that in looking at this lesson. So now, here is verse number 9. Sarah saw that the son whom Hagar, the Egyptian, had born to Abraham was mocking. Abraham, the son that Abraham had, Ishmael, now picking on little Isaac in a sense. Abraham, Isaac is some 13, 14 years old. Ishmael, a little lad, and at the time of this point, he's picking on him. And then she said to Abraham, get rid of the slave woman and her son, for the slave woman's son will never share in the inheritance with my son Isaac. Okay. Now this is out the Bible. That's kind of harsh talk, isn't it? Yeah, that's harsh talk. Here we are. Sarah's motives for insisting that Abraham send Hagar and Ishmael away. The motives was that first, he was messing with my child. You don't want nobody to mess. I don't care what color you are, what nationality you are. You don't want nobody messing with your child. And so she, and the problem that Sarah created, now she's going to fix the problem. Right. She says, get rid of that slave. Send him away. Because she said he's not going to take part in the inheritance. Yeah. And we've got a lot of messed up situations in life today because I don't know if I'm looking at the people in the room trying to sense. You ever had, I don't know if somebody might experience this. I'm the oldest of 6. And anybody here ever got an inheritance because you were the oldest child or the youngest child? Nobody know about those stories? Oh, okay. Well, here we are. She doesn't want this child, Ishmael, to receive any inheritance. So it says, get rid of him. Get him out of my house, because I want Isaac to have everything. He already had everything. You know, they already had it. But here, jealousy seeps in. Envy seeps in. And it causes now, when we get further, let me say how a nation becomes divided. Going down to verse 13, verse 11. The matter distressed Abraham greatly because it concerned his son. For any father, I don't care what you're going through, that loves your child, and you got an issue here you got to deal with. You got 2 women in the household. That don't happen nowadays. It's different. You got one that's paying child support, you know, and you got one in the house, and that's possibly, you know, I don't guess nobody else had those issues in here, but it happens. Reality is, one woman says, you gonna do more for him than you doing for my child? I don't understand that. That's what the text is saying here. And she wanted to make sure that Ishmael was not going to get more than Isaac. Shame on her, because that was his son. He wanted to take care of his son. Too many times now, men are saying they marry women, and I hope it's not the case in here, but if it is, they marry women, they have children outside, that woman say, he's just going to take care of me and my household. That's it. And you be real about that, but does that make it right? No. Because you're supposed to love that child regardless of what the situation is. Supposed to take care. Now, you might encounter a foolish woman, but somebody needs to say, I'm going to be much more, even more better than that woman. Why? Because I'm a Christian. We ought to be able to get along. I've seen, even in church, where members are fighting because some preacher or some deacon has messed over the membership and caused all kinds of havoc. But somewhere, it has to break the line. The yoke has to be broken. But this distressed Abraham. Verse 12 says, God said to him, do not be distressed about the boy and your maidservant. Listen to whatever Sarah tells you, because it is through Isaac that your offspring will be reckoned. Remember, back when you look back down the text, read back a couple of chapters, Sarah and Hagar had already had an encounter. They already had disagreement. So Hagar runs. This before she knew she was pregnant. She goes around, I can't take this, you know, and being that she was a slave, I wonder why he didn't go get her, you know, but the Lord spoke to her. Why? Because she was a godly woman. She knew God. The God spoke to her and said, go back to Sarah. Submit to her. Yeah, submit to her. Ain't that amazing? God told her, this woman here is literally talking about you, cursing you out, calling you everything but a child of God. God speaks to this godly woman, says go back to her and submit to her. Oh man, it's amazing how God does have a sense of humor, doesn't he?